Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and today is the 16th of October, 2017. Sorry for no updates for movie news. Last week, I had to go out of town to Los Angeles for a YouTuber convention, and then, of course, on the way home, I got a little bit screwed when the TSA failed to put my Nintendo Switch back in my bag. And now I've lost that, and they claim to not know where it's at. So I'm just venting a little bit about that. I'm a little bit just got that email right before recording, so just want to put that out there. Screw you, TSA. All right, I know you're in Los Angeles. Okay, I know Hollywood's there, movies are there, good stuff, but nah, screw you guys, you screwed me over. But speaking of being screwed over, I'm not the only one in my opinion. The top 10 for the box office this week actually very much showed us an upset that I did not think was going to happen. And that is that Happy Death Day dethroned Blade Runner 2049 as the #1 movie in America. That surprised a number of people, including myself. Well, as Happy Death Day does look pretty good, the fact that it beat out Blade Runner is just kind of shocking. I was hoping that positive word of mouth and people constantly praising Blade Runner would get it more than just 15 million. But coming in at number 3 is Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan's The Foreigner, which looks really good. I've heard good things about. I can't wait to go see it. And right underneath that is It. But just keep an eye on this. It has been out for 6 weeks and it's pulled in $314 million domestically. That is just insane that a movie with that small of a budget, about 30 million the last time I heard, pulled in that kind of cash. You have The Mountain Between Us, which has come out and basically just bombed. American Made has come out and done okay. I would say that's okay for the 3 weeks it's been out. Kingsman, on the other hand, I'm hoping that in the next couple weeks it pushes over the 100 million mark here in America. And of course, the Lego Ninjago movie not doing very well. I mean, 51 million is not horrible for this time of year, but you would hope that it would do better. And then, of course, My Little Pony has come out and absolutely just tanked with $15.5 million. How does My Little Pony tank? That is a legitimate question. How in the hell does My Little Pony, in the age of bronies, right, the hype of that fandom, come out and just die like that? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Maybe it has to do with the fact that some TV shows have trouble translating to feature films. Maybe it's because the animation didn't really up its game from what I could tell. I mean, it looked a little bit better, but it still ultimately kind of kept to its roots, which isn't bad. It's all flash animation, so it does look good. And this might be the other thing too, bronies just didn't show up. Right. Maybe bronies felt that they, unless they can go in numbers, they're not really going to be able to maybe kind of get themselves to go see it. Right. I have some friends of mine that are bronies that haven't gone and seen the movie. They haven't come out and said specifically why they haven't gone and seen it. I gave them a little bit of crap that, their safety in numbers and they weren't able to go because they don't know anyone nearby who's a brony, which is one of the reasons why Hasbro should have planned the release of this film around a big brony convention. That would have been creating hype from having that, or My Little Pony convention. Sorry, and I don't want to leave out the Pegasus sisters. Okay, I don't want you ladies to think I forgot about you. All right, so there's that as well. But really, what this should have done is probably come out around the time of these kind of conventions. You find the biggest one of its kind. You make a big premiere around that. You make it a big spectacle. You make it a big event, and then the bronies and Pegasus sisters and general fans that are under the age of 10, whose parents are going to have to take them to go see it anyway, will then see the hype and then go see the movie. Releasing it this time of year just felt off. School's in session, right? School's in session. You release a movie like this in June, okay, and then you go from there. This is its failure. It does not look good for Hasbro going forward, because they want to get into doing another Transformers animated movie. I've heard talks of G.I. Joe animated movies. They want to start getting into their own animated film lineup, and if their big one that's coming out, My Little Pony, the biggest of the big, at least in terms of their properties, failed as bad as it did, that's something to consider. However, just to be fair, and I know people in the comment section are going to come at me for this one, but to be fair, this movie will do much better on home video when people can just order it online and not have any shame going to the theater to go see it. Up next, Marvel released the first official trailer for Black Panther. Clearly, this is going to be in front of Thor Ragnarok in a couple weeks, and I'm not going to lie, it does look pretty freaking cool. The trailer shows us a whole bunch of cool elements from the movie, giving us a good, grand look at Wakanda, what is awesome about Wakanda, and why this is going to be something wholly different than anything else we have seen in the MCU thus far. My only complaint with the trailer, truly my only complaint, is the fact that the song they chose for it really does suck. It really isn't very good. It takes you completely out of the moment with "the revolution will not be televised." Like, that's stupid. Has nothing to do with Wakanda. The revolution will not be televised. Yeah, clearly it's a Black Panther thing, but that would apply to like 1960s here in the United States, not a fictional African nation where vibranium is their chief export, and they've got technology grander than almost anything else anywhere throughout the rest of the world. But other than that, the visuals of the movie look amazing. Chadwick Boseman looks great as T'Challa, and Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger, Andy Serkis as what's his name, Ulysses Klaue, is that the guy's name? Martin Freeman. There is a lot about this that looks pretty great, and it's going to be a hell of a show when it pops out February 16th, 2018. So that's just a few months away, and then of course that's going to lead into Avengers, and so I think we're going to get a lot of MCU push with Black Panther. I think this leading into the Avengers Infinity War is going to give us probably the most leading up to that. Thor is going to kind of set the stage, and then I think Black Panther is going to kind of bring it home, at least in terms of dealing with the Infinity Stones, and of course with Thanos showing up. But man, it looks fantastic, and I really cannot wait to see it. So jumping over into odd Pokemon news. I mean, if you are a Pokemon fan, this is not going to be odd, but if you're kind of a casual player or a casual observer of the fandom, you're going to be a little bit on the confused side. So we are getting the very first live action Pokemon film, but it's not a recreation of Pokemon the first movie from the late 90s. It's Detective Pikachu, which begins shooting in January. According to MovieWeb here, it says that it's ready to go at long last. The live-action Pokemon movie fans have been waiting for all these years is actually happening. Legendary Pictures' Detective Pikachu movie, which was announced last year, is finally set to start filming in January 2018 in London, according to a new production listing. So Legendary Pictures is very much trying to get in on this game. It makes sense. They were recently acquired by a Chinese company to the tune of like $3 billion. They are going to want to capitalize on the popularity, the worldwide popularity of Pokemon, especially of Pikachu, and Detective Pikachu. I remember the game came out, people wanted like Danny DeVito to voice the character in the movie. No word if that's actually going to be the case. And to be fair, Danny DeVito voicing Pikachu will be really off-putting. It will invoke too many memories of the horrible The Lorax movie. Right, he was good in the role. The movie was just completely devoid of soul and emotion, and it was just right? Which might have been the entire point, but I thought it was terrible. And I don't want to see, I don't want to ever think about that again. I don't want to have that associated with my Pikachu. But as for the actual story, we have no idea. Saying here, there is no official synopsis for Detective Pikachu yet, but the movie is based on the game of the same name. The game follows a talking Pikachu who isn't as powerful or physically gifted as other Pikachu are, but he is quite intelligent and claims to be a great detective. Oh, and he talks. In the story of the game, this Pikachu encounters a boy named Tim Goodman, who is able to understand what he's saying. The two then begin working together to solve various mysteries in the city, all involving Pokemon. So, I mean, clearly this is going to be a kid's movie. Clearly this is going to be, nothing too gritty. That's not going to be true detective Pokemon. However, that would be kind of cool if that was. I'd like to see something along those lines like, oh, hey, here's a completely dismembered Squirtle. Let's find out who killed him. Yay. And I don't know what it's going to be. This movie's going to be about, but I just know that my sister is going to be excited. And I'll probably have to go see it with her in order just to go, yeah, I saw it, but I saw it with a Pokemon fan, so that I don't feel bad about going to see. I mean, who am I kidding? Like, I'd probably go see the My Little Pony movie if I was bored enough. So I'll definitely be checking this out, because it does take the Pokemon idea and kind of turns it on its ear in a way that does seem to be fun. And I've always loved Pikachu, so yeah, it's got my money. Alright guys, finally today we're going to be talking about The New Mutants, and Fox taking this franchise to places I never thought Fox would take the franchise or allow it to go. That being said, with the success of Deadpool and Logan, it does kind of make sense. And the fact that they've seen that you can have a lot of success with darker themed type Marvel movies or comic book character movies, and that might be the path that they're going on moving forward. But in a new interview with film director Josh Boone, we're learning that it's going to not just be one movie, it's going to be a trilogy of X-Men themed horror films. In fact, this is what Boone said. We brought it to Fox as a trilogy of films, really all based on The Long Run by Sienkiewicz, and kind of incorporate some stuff from later issues in the 80s. These are all going to be horror movies, and they'll all be their own distinct kind of horror movie. This is certainly the rubber reality of the supernatural horror movie. The next one will be a completely different kind of horror movie. Our take was to go and examine the horror genre through comic book movies and make each one its own distinct sort of horror film, drawing from the big events that we love in the comics. Now, the New Mutants trailer itself very much evoked imagery from 80s era horror films. You have like The Shining and Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and a few other in there that I just kind of saw peppered throughout. It does look very stylized. It does look stylistic. I'm not a huge fan of that necessarily, but like I said, Fox is taking this to places that we never thought they would go, and this has to do with the success of their R-rated franchises. So giving it 3 films, each one exploring a different subgenre of horror and applying it to the X-Men characters, probably has a lot to do with the success of Legion on FX and probably also the success from The Gifted on Fox, giving us a more dramatic take on these characters rather than just, popcorn cinema shoveling it in your face constantly. Don't get me wrong, and that stuff works. Deadpool did it well. X-Men films to a certain point have done it well. Logan was not that type of movie. It was very much a Western. It was a different type of genre, but it worked well for what they were attempting to do. So I see what Fox is up to with this. I see what Josh Boone is up to with this. I'm not 100% sold on it as a trilogy of films, but I'm definitely cautiously optimistic. And look, let's be realistic here. This is me we're talking about. The likelihood of me seeing these movies day one in theaters are pretty high. So that's probably going to be happening, but I'm just going to go in hoping that I'm impressed, not going in there thinking I will be impressed and therefore, reaffirming my own confirmation bias. All right, guys, that wraps up this episode of $3 Theater. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and going over the movie news. If you have anything you want to submit yourself, be sure to send it over to MundaneMatt.com/submit, or just, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the subjects. I really appreciate that. If you guys want to find me on social media, links below in the video description. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.